Welcome to Morfanime. I'm your fan of more anime. How is everybody doing? We made it. Set the fireworks off, people, because we made it. Morfanime has made it to the end. Well, I think that's not the end, because One Piece is still ongoing. But when I started, the big goal was to reach chapter 1,000. And today I review chapters 975 through chapters 1,000. I made it. Fireworks. I made it. And it has been a lovely journey. I hope it goes on for another 1,000 chapters. It's my favorite fiction of all time. It really is. One Piece has taken me over. I feel like Andy from Toy Story 1 when he gets Buzz Lightyear, and you see all his posters on the wall of Woody and the cowboys and stuff, and he starts taking them down and putting up posters of astronauts and whatnot, and the moon and so forth. And Woody's just like, no, what's happening? And that's how it feels like to me, because, I'm also a big fan. I started my anime journey with Dragon Ball, like most people. Then I got into a series called Naruto, like most people here in the West. But I'm happy that it took me so long to get into One Piece, because I don't think I would have appreciated it as much in my 20s or teens as I do now. It is absolutely fantastic, and I highly recommend it to anyone I talk to about anime. I usually, if they're new to anime, I recommend a more digestible series. But if they're veterans and if they're ready to take the plunge, One Piece. Can you imagine if your first anime is One Piece and you go all the way through it, and then from that point on, nothing else will be better than that? Say it. Because that's how I felt. I think, like a lot of people, I felt like Dragon Ball was the end-all, be-all of anime, and I thought that Naruto, in some aspects, beat Dragon Ball in, the action and the in-depth story and character development, and woo, was I wrong! I don't think combined the character development from Naruto and Dragon Ball meets anything close to just one character from the One Piece series. It's more of like a novel type of a story that's so in-depth. And like I said, I'd go another 1,000 chapters. I'd go 2 more 1,000 chapters. I just want Oda to be alive throughout this time. Because, look how long it took to get to this point. Another 1,000 chapters? Could you imagine how old? I might be 40 years old before this bad boy's over. Jesus, that's crazy to think about. From what I've heard, we are in the end saga soon, so it could end anywhere between now and 5 years from now. A saga is a collection of arcs, probably any number of arcs. So it being in the final saga could mean literally anything. It could mean 500 more chapters, 1,000 more chapters, 1,500 more chapters. Could you imagine if each arc from this point on, let's say there's 4 or 5 arcs left after Wano, and let's imagine they're all the same length as Wano. We're going for a while, guys, and I'm here for it. So, chapters 975 through 1,000. 1,000! I couldn't believe it. I woke up this morning and I had 3 more chapters to read. And I turned the page from chapters 900 and, chapter 999. And it said chapter 1,000. And I was just like, oh my God, this is it. Once I turn this page, we're on to another journey. It almost feels like we're starting from ground zero, but with all this backstory backstory behind it. Like, where do we go from here? We're at the pinnacle of the Wano arc right now, and shit's going down. And it almost felt lackluster when I turned that page. I was hoping for something magnificent to be on the first page of chapter 1000 or the last page of chapter 1000, and there was some good stuff. I love chapter 1000, but I think I built up in my head that it was just going to be this info dump for all of us, and just like all these mysteries I've been waiting to be solved were going to be solved before my eyes, and really it was just another chapter telling the story of Wano, and I liked it. So we left off with Luffy. We finished the Oden backstory. We left off with Luffy and Kid and Law and their crew showing up at the final hour, ready to back up the samurai to take on these beast pirates, the jobber beast pirates, nobody of real importance. And Kanjuro took off with Momonosuke, and he's on their way to bring Momonosuke to Orochi, and Kaido ready to finish his role. Man, I really do hope if Kinemon doesn't get a major victory over Kaido, which would not make sense because Kinemon doesn't compare to Kaido. Maybe he'll get the final blow or something at the very end. But if Kinemon doesn't get to finish off Kaido, Kinemon should get to finish off Kanjuro, because they're probably at the same level skill-wise, and it's a major moment that happened when Kanjuro turned on the samurai. Like, he was part of their family. They were the scabbards, and they got to the fucking battle against Kaido. This dude has been betraying them from the very beginning. That's crazy. It would have been even crazier if Kinemon was the traitor the whole time. And be like, what? I don't know. But I think that I need a Kanjuro-Kinemon battle. I'm not even sure if Kanjuro's dead. Because in these 1000 chapters, Kanjuro, confronts the scabbards, minus Danjuro and Kinemon. They were doing something else. But the rest of the scabbards took on Kanjuro and a bunch of his drawings, I believe, that had no heads or something. I think they were drawings of his friends with no heads. But luckily for them, I believe Izu shows up with Marco. Yeah, Marco and Izu. Is it Izu? I think I'm going to call him Izu throughout this whole thing. Kiku's brother. He shows up. The guy that, has the 2 pistols. He was part of Whitebeard's crew for a long period of his life. It's crazy to me that this dude never showed up anytime between now and then, knowing he knew that something bad was happening at Wano. At least at some point he found that out, and I'm surprised he didn't take everything for him to at least go and try and save his brother, get him out of there. But he was a loyal Whitebeard pirate at that point. He started a new life. He followed a different guy. He decided, yes, I respect Oden, but I respect Whitebeard even more. That's my guess, is why he found a newfound respect for sailing. And it's pretty cool, to have a character like Izu, who was barely, really used throughout the series. He was at Marineford, but the fact that he shows up at the final battle to help them out. It's interesting as well that he's using pistols and not a sword, because I assumed he was a samurai and he just happened to have pistols. But no, I think his main weapon is the pistols. The brothers reunite. They take on Kanjuro, and I think they killed Kanjuro, because I think Kanjuro's body was on the ground. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Usually Oda's pretty clear if they kill somebody, so would not be surprised if Kanjuro shows up again and takes on a beat up Kinemon, because I'm assuming Kanjuro's pretty beat up and Kinemon's pretty beat up, I'll tell you that, after fighting Kaido. Oh man, actually what I really liked about this first half of these 26 chapters is the fact that they made the Straw Hats feel like they weren't the main characters, and in a good way. Like, the Straw Hats were there backing up the samurai. This is the samurai, the scabbard story, and Oda doesn't make it feel like this is, at least for the first 10, 15 chapters, it feels like, or at least honestly, building up to chapter 1000, it feels like the scabbards are the main characters of the story. They get their moments to shine in these. I loved Kinemon already, but now I really, really like his character after these last 25 chapters. Like, the whole Samurai Scabbard crew, I wasn't really hot on them until these last 26 chapters. I think the reason I wasn't, it just felt like they weren't fully fleshed out like most of Oda's characters are at this point. Kinemon was probably the only one that had enough story since he's been a part of the crew since Punk Hazard, but the rest of them I wasn't sure about. But now I'm almost completely caught up on their names, remembering their names. Let's see if I got this. Raizo, Kiku, Izu, who's not really part of their crew, but now he's back, so he's part of the squad. You got Cat Viper and Dog Storm. See, look at it. Every time I doubt myself, I think I'll never master these names, remember these names. There's too many characters to remember, but Oda's writing is so good. It imprints on your brain eventually. And I think reviewing this series has helped me memorize names as well, because I have to go over it a few times. So I think I got all of it up here in the brain hole. But they kick ass. The spotlight was firmly on the scabbards, and I loved it. I could understand why you get frustrated week to week if you're like, I want to see what the Straw Hats are doing. I do not care what Raizo is doing. I do not care what Kappa, I think his name is, the Fishman, is doing. Like, they can go fight Kaido off screen, whatever. I could see that mindset if you're reading it 1 week at a time. But when you're binging through it, it's great. Because you get a little bit of Luffy. Luffy didn't really get to do a whole lot. He was just on his way. This whole section was just kind of him on his way to Kaido. But it gave everybody else that wasn't the Straw Hat crew opportunities to shine. Even gave some other minor Straw Hats. I used minor very lightly because all the Straw Hats are very important. But Nami got to have a major moment. I almost feel like Usopp kind of went down for me a little bit, because Nami and Usopp end up fighting, I did write down these names. These are characters I'm not familiar with. These are the Beast Pirates that aren't the All-Stars. The Topi Ropo, we just met them, so please, I wrote their names down. Uti and Page One. I think they're brother and sister. Are these two brother and sister? Because she keeps calling him brother. And they both have like dinosaur transformations. One of them's a Spinosaurus that fought Sanji when he first used the Soba Mask outfit. And the other one is this girl named Uti, who I'm actually getting quite fond of. I thought she was kind of annoying when she first debuted, but she's kind of grown on me character-wise. Her brother's kind of a nobody, nothing character who kind of is just part of her annoying gimmick where she's trying to be around him or something, like be friends with him, and he wants nothing to do with it or something. I don't know. There's like bickering siblings, but they're perfect opponents for Nami and Usopp, even though I would assume these two are much stronger than Nami and Usopp physically. Nami and Usopp mentally could probably take these two on. Usopp gets cracked in the face, I believe, by a headbutt. This UT girl, her main weapon is the headbutt. She even clashed headbutts with Luffy, I believe, at one point, and he was fine. But she's got a hard head, is her whole gimmick. That's her weapon of choice, is her headbutt. And she cracks Usopp's skull, very similar to how it happened when he fought Mr. Four and Miss Christmas back at Alabasta. Like, I was like, oh shit, we need fucking Chopper to look at Usopp now. I almost feel like Usopp is out of the battle. He should be. He really should be out of the battle. If Usopp gets back up after cracking his entire skull, I take it seriously when he shows us a 3D skull crack of his face. Like, Usopp should be done for the rest of the adventure. He got a couple pot shots in here and there when the little sea battle at the beginning, but He should be out for the rest of Wano, and I'm fine with it. He did his best. It's a war. People get knocked out. That was a knockout blow. And then Nami gets threatened with a headbutt of death, and she says, "If you tell me that Luffy will never be the king of the pirates, I won't kill you." And Nami's like, fuck. And even Usopp in a little thought bubble. And this is where I kind of went down on Usopp. Usopp said something to the effect of, Nami, just lie. Say that Luffy won't be king of the pirates, and you'll be okay. That's all you got to do. You can just lie about it. You can believe whatever you want to believe. And which Usopp's a good liar, so I guess I don't have to look down on him for it, because he's like, I'll just say that, and I don't mean it. And Luffy knows I don't mean it. But and even Nami could say that, and Luffy'd be fine with it. But Nami tells her, like, no, Luffy, there's no chance that Luffy will not become king of the pirates. And then I believe they get saved by Frankie. Yes, this scene was dope. Frankie comes in with Brooke, who are on the Frankie cycle, and it comes in and they bash them with the cycle, I believe. And even Nami jumps on Frankie. I think she calls Frankie brother. I think that's the first time that I remember that Nami called Frankie like big bro or something. I think their relationship is bonding. I love that Frankie is kind of the uncle or big brother to the rest of the crew in a lot of ways. Maybe not Brooke. They're more, Brooke's more his elder, obviously. Yo! Sorry, that was my terrible, terrible Brooke laugh. Brooke doesn't get to do a whole lot. He does get involved in a little scuffle with Big Mom, because before Usopp's face gets smashed in, Big Mom runs into Usopp and Chopper within the second half of the General Frankie that are like trying to get away from her, and she ends up like punching the thing, but they're lucky as fuck. I don't know how they got away from Big Mom. Big Mom has been clumsy this whole time. She gets her eyes and hands near a weaker member of the crew that couldn't necessarily fight her in any way, shape, or form, and they outwit her almost every time, or they escape and hide. She's just, she's an older lady. She's probably got bad vision. I don't know, but they get away from her, luckily. Big Mom's more focused on Luffy. She wants to find Luffy. She wants to find Kaido. This whole time, she's trying to get to Kaido. Luffy's trying to get to Kaido. Zoro's trying to get to Kaido. Sanji, though. Sanji's going around trying to find women at the beginning. And I don't know if he's serious or he's playing coy or something, because at the beginning, they find a brothel. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. I'm like, come on, Sanji. I know he's got this whole weakness, and I could understand if a woman was right in front of him and it hurt him. It's his kryptonite, But they weren't even near him. The word brothel made him go peek, and he saw Big Mom naked, I think, and he was like, no, because she was changing into her kimono, I believe, her Wano battle outfit, and he ends up continuing his search for women, even though we're going on a blood war. Your friends, Nami, Robin, everybody else, Zoro, they're all in danger of dying. You are one of the top Straw Hats in physical strength. And if at the very least you can keep everybody else from dying while Luffy goes and handles Kaido, that would be great. If you could just keep people, showing up. You know how Sanji always seems to show up at the last minute to save people, like he did when he saved Nami and Usopp and Chopper back at Dressrosa from Doflamingo. That was a dope-ass moment, but he's also done that when he saved Usopp from Jabra. Yes, Sanji shows up and saves Usopp from Jabra. Another dope moment. And now, today, we think he's going around, not today, but in Wano, we think he's going around and trying to find women, but really he puts his Soba mask outfit on, goes invisible, and last minute saves the captured Momonosuke, and that was an epic moment. I was just like, yeah! because it looked like he was screwed because they were going to do a live execution of Momo, who had tried to escape. So you give him respect there. They told Momo, I'll let you live. I believe they said that. I'll let you live, and we'll pretend like this never happened if you denounce your father's name. And he was like, no, I want to die, and I want to be, he wants to be the shogun or whatever, but he wants, if he's going to die here in this execution, he wants to die with honor, so when he sees his family in the other life, he can be, an honorable death. Eventually, though, Soba Mask saves the day invisibly, but I believe he gets stopped by King or something, King or Queen, one of them. King and Queen are there, the all-stars, the top diggity dogs. Kaido is there. Eventually, all of the samurai come through the door in this epic moment, like flooding out of... I can't wait to see this animated in the anime. But the scabbards come through the wall, and they all come in with their swords, and they actually pierce Kaido's skin. And it was epic. It was the first of many epic moments for the scabbards, who are just kicking ace, taking names. I really like Danjiro. I really like all of them at this point. At the beginning of Wano, I really could care less about these scabbards. I think through grit and a little bit of their backstory through Oden's backstory has changed my mind. Oda is such a good writer. They come in, and this action scene of them stabbing Kaido. And I'm like, how are they stabbing Kaido? They must know Ryo or advanced armament hockey. That's what I got from it. There's also a major moment for the scabbards. I'm just going to jump ahead and say this. I don't want to forget. They pull out two sword style, which I didn't really connect with Oden's backstory, but apparently Oden fought in two sword style, and that he considered it the greatest, and he always wanted to show the scabbards how to fight in that style, but none of them wanted to learn it or something. That is what I got from the story. But I guess during the time that Oden was killed, they had been studying two sword style, or they always have been doing two sword style without telling the rest of the scabbards, because they didn't want anybody to feel like they were a lesser scabbard because they were, Oden's favorite or something. But they all, except for Aizo because he uses pistols, they all pull out their swords and they do two sword style and fight Kaido. Dog Storm and Cat Viper, they take on Jack the Drought and kick his ass, but they all go in Sulong mode. All of the minks that are there ready to fight go full Sulong monster mode. I'm assuming tons of minks died here. And the minks have my absolute eternal respect for what they did for Raizo. And it felt so good seeing Jack go down. But he was a tough SOB. He was like, I feel like I'm dishonoring Kaido's name. Even Kaido's like, you do not have to feel bad, Jack. The Sulongs have overwhelming power. Eventually, Dogstorm and Cat Viper, they join in the fight against Kaido. The whole scabbard crew was fighting Kaido. Kiku, who's wearing this badass samurai armor, gets her arm completely sliced off by one of Kaido's attacks, many dragon attacks that he does against them. But like I said, they pull out Oden's two sword style in an epic moment, a moment I wasn't even built up to because I didn't really catch on to the fact that it kind of felt shoehorned in, but it felt great when it happened, when they pulled out the attacks. And I think that's what he was trying to show us, is that's why the scabbards were able to pierce Kaido's skin, because they had Ryo and they had the two sword style. They were mimicking Oden's fighting style, the only fighting style that ever really brought a challenge to Kaido and actually pierce his skin and cause him to be scared. And that's what he wants. That's what Kaido wants. He wants to die with honor. But Kinemon in this scene is like, being killed by you is not honorable to me. He's like, I have to complete this journey, but there's no way Kinemon's going to win. But during these 26 chapters, they made Kinemon look like an absolute beast. Like, I almost felt like Kinemon could beat Doflamingo in a one-on-one fight. Like, this fight gave Kinemon such a rub. Like, I want to get Kinemon, a figure of Kinemon just because of these 26 chapters. Him and his flaming sword. He was actually on fire. He is obviously the strongest scabbard individually. But where was this? I wish they gave Kinemon an epic battle back at Punk Hazard or Dressrosa, anywhere, just to show us that he's got a little skill. And then they show off this ultimate something. They showed him do a couple things back at Punk Hazard, but he didn't really have an opponent, so we have nothing to base it on. It didn't feel like it was out of nowhere. It was just like, where were you at Dressrosa? Just running around looking for Kanjuro? Not helping out with your badass skills, Kinemon? Jeez. Oh, man. But they go at it. Like I said, Kiku loses her arm. It falls through the hole where Queen is having this crazy competition where he gives this plague, this disease to some of his men, which pass. And if you touch somebody else, they get the disease where their body starts to freeze and they turn into these rabid beasts. It's like... what's that thing that animals get? Rabies, but ice rabies. And they start spreading throughout his men and the samurai and the Straw Hat crew. This is Chopper's moment to be Doctrine. Chopper be Doctrine during these 26 chapters. He's trying to get the antidote, which Queen, who likes a good competition, gives the antidote to Apu, the most annoying supernova. And he's there. Apu's a loyal member of the damn Beast Pirates. He's not turning on them. Drake, who was discovered as still a Marine, decides to turn on them because they're going to kill him otherwise. And he asks Luffy, let me join you in this fight. So Luffy just gained another major ally, another supernova, who's actually a Marine, who told him, because I guess I think his boss or subordinate is Kobe. And Kobe told Drake, hey, Luffy's a good guy. And if you can get on his good side, he can be your best friend or he can be your worst enemy. And you got to make that decision. And at that point, you know, he had no other choice. He couldn't escape. He had to decide, I'm going to help Luffy. It'll help me with my goal of apparently taking down Kaido as well. But I don't know if this is going to lead to Kobe showing up last minute. Can you imagine if Drake joins Luffy and Luffy, you know, he's so welcoming. He's like, well, go ahead. Zoro is so funny in these chapters because he's like, Drake cannot be trusted. I can't trust somebody that keeps flip-flopping on where he's going to be fighting. But Drake can't explain the whole situation right here where he's a Marine, which probably wouldn't help the situation at all anyway. So Drake's just like, let me help you and we'll figure out our shit later. And Zoro's like, no. And Luffy's like, sure, come on in, bud. Let's do this. Luffy seemed a little skeptical, but he was just like, I don't care. I can kick your ass. I need to find Kaido. The whole time I find it really cool that Luffy's trying to fight. He's trying to, you know, fight some beast pirates and some nobodies. There's some numbers show up. These other creatures that are part of the beast pirates. They're called the numbers. And I took down a couple notes. The numbers are a group within the beast pirates made up of artificially produced ancient giants. Originally created on Punk Hazard, I believe by Vegapunk. They were deemed to be unsuccessful and were eventually brought to Kaido. They currently are on Onigashima, where they're at right now fighting. But these are like 10 of these giant ancient creatures that I am assuming aren't as strong as Oars, the zombie Oars was, but they're as big as zombie Oars. They're mistakes. They don't seem fully formed as ancient giants. So I wonder if there's an ancient giant zone fruit or something that people can eat. That'd be sick. Either way, these ancient giants are coming in and they're dangerous. They're big and they can probably be taken down by a Zoro or a Luffy. But when you're dealing with them, we're dealing with this ice rabies going around at the same time. Chopper gets the ice rabies and you're like, how are they going to solve this? Luckily, Marco shows up with his doctrine skills and uses his Phoenix abilities to render the virus keep it at bay while Chopper does his doctor and tries to figure this out. Eventually, Zoro takes the antidote from fucking Apu, which in an epic moment where Zoro's looking around, I believe he sees Kiku's arm who fell from the sky, and he's just like, I cannot stay here. The samurai that I respect are up there dying, while we're down here dealing with his underlings. So he goes and one-shots Apu, who's been fighting Drake this whole time in an unsuccessful, like a tie. Eventually Drake does, thanks to Zoro's interference, they get the antidote. They give it to Chopper. Chopper, with help with Marco, they go off to make the damn antidote along with some of the Dr. Minks, which I was like, why are you here? The Dr. Minks are there. I guess they're just here to help people who fall in battle, which is really noble of them. But they have no fighting skills like Chopper does, I believe. So luckily they're there to help him, though, because this seems like a fast situation. He has less than an hour to make this antidote. We got Sanji, like I mentioned, looking for women after he got attacked by King, which was an epic battle. Not battle, but it was a cool moment where King plunged him into the ground. He eventually takes off the outfit with the Soba Mask outfit. He even says, "Man, I hate how good this outfit is," because he got plunged into the ground by King and got up again, and he was just like, you know what? I feel pretty good. This I really do hope that the Soba Mask outfit isn't a permanent thing. I hope that he has another evolution or something of sorts instead. Why can't he just train to be stronger like Zoro does? I know they never show him training, but it would be nice just to see him gain his abilities on his own without his father's technology. But I don't hate the Soba Mask outfit. It looks decent. It just needs to be used sparingly, is how I'd like to see it. It's a cool last-ditch effort to see if you can get through something. But if he can't get through it on his own merit, then he can use the cheat code. His cheat code. That's okay. A couple cheat codes. Everybody played Grand Theft Auto, right? He goes and he runs into Black Maria, this ancient spider zone fruit user who traps him by pretending to be a damsel in distress. And you're like, Sanji, why? And I'm thinking, Sanji doesn't hit women, and he's surrounded by women in this room, and he's trying to run away. And I'm like, oh shit, Sanji, what have you done? Not sure what's going to happen there. They don't show the conclusion, but I'll be so pissed if they use this as a way to write Sanji out of the rest of the fight, or the fight with Kaido. I think that he deserves, as well as Zoro, to be involved with the fight with Kaido. He's just as strong as Zoro, in my opinion. Maybe right underneath him. Okay, fine. Right underneath him. I just think that he deserves to take a couple kicks at Kaido. I guess Zoro has more, skin in the game, since he's very samurai-like, and he holds one of the swords, the Odin blade that he has on his side, so he might have more skin in the game, and him fighting Kaido makes a little more sense. And we just came off Whole Cake Island with Sanji, so if he is written out because he just had a giant arc and he gets taken by this spider lady, fine. Either way, I love the rest of the crew. Even Sanji for a bit was helping Luffy, but they didn't want Luffy to waste his energy. They knew that Luffy was really their only person that could take out Kaido if the samurai plan A didn't work, which honestly nobody really expected that to work, because we gotta see Luffy and Kaido go at it one more time. But they knew, and really the samurai are just up there to weaken Kaido. Kaido cannot be beaten in a one-on-one fight. Oda has made that very clear. He is a monster. But through strategery, they might be able to make this work. Just like a video game, when you're just slowly picking away at their health points. And that's what the samurai are doing upstairs. They are slowly stabbing away at Kaido in his dragon form. And he is taking damage. So when Luffy wins, it's not going to feel like it was a forced training montage and now he's somehow stronger than him. It's like, oh, no, I don't think that Luffy is stronger than Kaido in a one-on-one fight right now. But after all this damage and with backup from Law and Kid and Zoro, I think he'll be okay. Now he's got his boys with him, and if we can get Sanji into the fight, they might be able to. It'd be kind of sick if in the end Zoro uses the Odin blade to chop Kaido's head, but at the same time Luffy's using his, Mega Gear 4 punch, and Sanji comes in with a kick of flames of sort, and it's like a three-way win. Usually Luffy's the one to take down the big bad, right? Hear me out. This is a big, 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 big bad. You use the monster trio to do the finishing blow, but giving Zoro the death chop at the end. I think that'd be really cool for Zoro. Sanji'd get involved. Luffy would actually be throwing the major body blow as well, so nobody is undercut. Everybody beats Kaido together as a squad. And I think that might be the way to go, and it kind of shows Kaido like, hey, it's not just about the captain, it's about the crew around you. I'm excited to see Kid battle, because Kid didn't get to do a whole lot here. He's kind of been very sneaky throughout this initial invasion. He's been gathering all the metal that he can gather, because if you don't remember, he's got the magnet fruit. He's basically Magneto. They're running around, Killer's protecting him, and their game plan seems to be gather all the metal he can, and I'm assuming he's going to transform into a fucking Gundam and fight Giant Dragon Kaido, and I am ready for it. I am ready for that. I'm also really excited to see what Law does. It feels like Law has kind of been in the shadows throughout all of Wano, and I think he's such a major player in the One Piece world. His ability is so crazy strong if he can get it off on somebody like Kaido. I think that he could really be a point to how this fight ends. I think that Law is going to be a major factor in how they eventually beat Kaido. And I'm almost forgetting, Big Mom is right there. Big Mom makes it to the battlefield right around the same time that Luffy does. So I'm almost forgetting that they're going to have to deal with two of them. So really, Luffy's only going to get back up from a couple people, if not any of them, while the others take on Big Mom. I don't think Luffy needs to be fighting Big Mom right now. Oh, man. I'm just so pumped. Eventually, Luffy makes it to the top. He makes it to the battle where we've all been waiting for. He teams up. Well, he's standing there holding Kinemon, and he's just like, what's going on? He's having flashbacks. It's sad. It's like, oh, man. And you're just like, come on, Luffy. You can do this. And then you got Law, and like I mentioned, Zoro and Kid there. You're just pumped. You're excited to see this battle. It's just building. We're building blocks here to the biggest battle in One Piece history, and I'm just so excited. Another big thing that I can't believe I haven't mentioned 39 minutes in, because it's a pretty big deal. Yamato shows up, who is Kaido's son, apparently, and is also Odin, and also knows Ace. And they were at one point, Ace, before he joined Whitebeard, helped her, figure out who she is when, many years before he, died. And eventually he's dead, and he was supposed to come back and save her, which is sad. It's very sad. But Yamato, who is Odin, apparently, is here, and Luffy takes off. She had, chains on. She wanted nothing to do, or he wanted nothing to do with his father, Kaido. She wants to be Odin, and she wants to leave Wano. She's done with this. She respects the samurai. She's a tough SOB. She seems pretty strong. She's got the big baton weapon like Kaido does. I almost wish she had a sword, because she's trying to be Odin, right? Doesn't you think she should have a sword? But she kind of fights like Kaido in a way, without the whole dragon form. But she's got the horns. She's a big lady. But she seems interesting. She's there to... what did she do? She she's going around, she's trying to save Momonosuke because she says, like, I'm Odin, you're my son. I was just like, what is up with this lady? She's got some issues going on. Like, I like her a lot. I think she's awesome. I just want to understand what she wants. Is she Yamato or is she Odin? Be whoever you want, but tell me who you are. She's like back and maybe that's just part of her character, and I like that, I guess. I like that she's like split back and forth. Even she doesn't know what she wants in a way, and that's normal. That's the thing that people go through in life. I liked her a lot. She helped out Luffy a bit, and now is helping Momonosuke. Fucking Frankie is taking on a Triceratops man, another member of the Topi Robo. Let's see, what's their names? Frankie is taking on Sasuke. Who's who? This guy's interesting. I didn't really understand who he was, but Who's Who is taking on Jinbei, and he's a member of the Topi Ropo. And he says something. He says something in the panel. I'll put it up here if I remember, about how he knows Jinbei back when he knew Jinbei back when he was a warlord of the sea. And Jinbei's like, well, who are you? If you weren't in your, zone form, which he's a giant, like, saber-toothed tiger, I could probably tell who you are, Who's Who, which doesn't seem like a real name. And he's like, nah, you won't see my real face. I'm just going to kill you in my zone fruit form. But that was pretty interesting. We're really setting up these battles between the Topi Ropo. The numbers were really kind of just fodder giants that didn't really have much to do except be an obstacle. I thought they would be more important, but they kind of get taken out rather easily by the main members of the Straw Hat crew. But the Topi Ropo, the 5 of them, Black Maria, Sasuke, Ulti, and Page 1 are going to be taking on the Straw Hats. And we also have, like I mentioned, Kanjuro's probably still out there somewhere. I highly doubt he's gone. He seemed to have such a big role to play here with the samurai, being that he was a member of the Scabbards. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Black Maria versus Sanji intrigues me. Maybe we'll find out, like, Black Maria's not, like, actually a lady or something. I don't know. Then you have Ulti, who is an absolute doll. And she's probably going to have to fight Nami. And Page 1, he should be knocked the fuck out. He got knocked out so many times during these 25 chapters. He does not... Him and Usopp can just lay there knocked out for the rest of the arc. Frankie versus this Triceratops guy, though, has got my attention. That shit looks like it's going to be awesome, because I absolutely love Frankie, and he deserves another major moment. I'm calling it here. He's going to have a major moment that's just going to get me so hyped on the super Frankie man. And I almost forgot, we also have Queen and King, who still haven't really fought yet, which is crazy to me. So who's going to fight them? They're probably going to get involved with what's going on upstairs. I could see Chopper possibly fighting Queen, since he's like a doctor and he starts plagues. They're like, he should be his like immortal enemy. But I think Queen should be much stronger than Chopper. So maybe what if it's Chopper and Marco versus Queen? And then King... Ooh, King did attack Sanji first, so we could see eventually King and Sanji go at it, which would be pretty cool, because it seems like King has fire on him as well, and Sanji deals with his jambe kick. I could see that matching up, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Our top 2 dogs, Zoro and Luffy, are in the upstairs fighting the big bads. Maybe Zoro will take out Big Mom and Luffy will take out Kaido. That'd be dope as fuck too. I'm very excited for the next 25 chapters. My next video should be chapters 1001 through 1025. And it's gonna be amazing. Please mark my words. I'm so excited. Like, this build-up, there was really not that many major battles between here and this build-up. It was all just setting up these Topi Ropo, which kind of gave me their abilities, what their powers are, what zone fruits they're using. They all seem to be like ancient zones of sorts. and that's cool, I guess. They're cool. They're cool enemies. I wasn't sure how to feel about them when they first got introduced at the beginning of these 26 chapters, because I was like, who are these characters? Why did I not get introduced to most of the Topiropo before this final fight? Maybe Oda was just like, I just don't have time to fit them in, but I'll rush their development here. But they're perfect enemies for the Straw Hat crew to take down. And this is going to be great because this is Jinbei's first major fight as a Straw Hat against who's who has my most intrigue, because I wonder how he knows Jinbei. Maybe there's a connection there. Maybe a connection with Arlong, my guy. Plus, we have no idea what's going on with Sabo. We have no idea what's going on with the world government. What is happening outside of Wano? I need to know. This is Morfanime. What did you think of this review? All the way, we made it to chapter 1000. We made it! And if you made it this far into this video, I'd like you to comment down below. Bell of the ball. That is my secret word of the week. No, just type in bell of the ball down below if you made it through this entire video with me. We made it to chapter 1000. I hope you've been here from the very start, chapter 1. I'm definitely going to read this again multiple times throughout my life, but only one time will I read chapter 1000 for the very first time. I'll talk to you later.